Well, it's time to welcome back Real Estate Talk. Okay, and I'm so pleased because the last time Ken Sax was here doing this, it was a different scenario. Starting up for what we have now these days, because we know about housing. I mean, if you're not in the first 30 to put a bid on a house these days, you probably don't have a chance. If you're selling a house, you just sit back and relax. It's a changed environment out there. So Ken Sax, welcome back to hosting the real estate show.
Yes,
huh?
absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to get this going.
Well, and you take off what? What did you take off? Like 9 months or 8 months or something
If
like
that, you know.
Yeah. And look what's happened.
So it's my fault.
Yeah, of course it is. Okay, yeah. Well, it would have been my fault, except you're the one with the shorter name, Ken,
Right.
instead of Ken.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
What
moly.
is going on?
What the heck is going on? I have never seen this market in my almost 30 years
Yeah.
of being in the real estate industry.
Right.
We have a shortage of inventory.
Yes.
We are down to, we used to look at inventory as months. How many
Yes.
months inventory?
Yes.
And so anything up to about 5 months, 6 months would be considered a seller's market. 6 months would be a neutral. 7+ would be a buyer's market,
Yeah.
right? In months.
Right.
We are in days
In even hours.
and sometimes in hours. And I should back up. I've talked about what that means, inventory. And when we say, let's say 10 days inventory,
Yes.
what that means, Kent, is at our current pace of sales,
Yes.
if we don't add another unit onto the market, so whatever we have now, in 10 days, it's gone.
Yes.
It's gone. And 10 days.
And that's serious for
that-
so many reasons. When you've got folks who want to get into a home for the first time,
Yes.
they're paying through the nose now, aren't they?
Oh, first-time home buyers, where not too long ago were anywhere from the 150 to 250 range. We're, north of 400.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a
Someone
different place.
told me, and I've talked to others about this, but someone told me that most realtors will ask the question, "Well, Fred and Jane, welcome, and I'm going to try to show you some homes. What have you been approved for a loan and so forth, and what are you looking for?" Oh, $350,000 homes, okay, which kind of used to be the norm. And the response from the realtor is, "Okay, we'll go out and look at $250,000 homes." Well, why? I've been approved. The fact is, you're going to have to bid up
Yeah.
on most of them,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if they're in good shape and everything.
Yeah, and that's a tough conversation with some buyers.
Yes, I bet.
Because they're not accustomed to that.
No.
If they're first time, they definitely have nothing to compare that to.
Right.
If they've bought before, that's like, wait, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Well, it is today. That's how it works. And so you're absolutely right. And I've had those conversations where if you're looking for let's say a $350,000, $400,000, let's just say $400,000 house. We have to talk about strategies.
Yes.
And the strategy would be, let's look perhaps at 350, 370, so we have the ability to outbid our competitors
Because,
we're competing now.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
competing.
yeah.
And that's a hard pill to swallow.
and in our community, with some of the wages and salaries and everything else, and having come off a pandemic and
Sure.
and so forth, that's got to be, from your standpoint as a realtor who tries to help people
Yeah.
get into a home or whatever it is, that's got to be tough for you to deliver that news.
I hate this market.
Yeah.
I do not like it at all. I feel that if somebody has shown that they are financially responsible, they can manage their finances,
Right.
they should be able to buy a house.
Right.
They should be able to buy a house. That's
Yeah.
the American dream.
It is.
And so, a lot of the public thinks, oh my gosh, you realtors, like, you must love this. You're making a killing. There's not one realtor I've talked to that loves this.
Yeah.
This is not we don't like this. We don't like this.
No.
Yeah. And it's
Because your job is to help people
we got to help people.
move,
Yeah.
get into a house, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And
So you've got the supply and demand, but let's talk about material costs.
yes.
So new construction.
Yes.
I mean, we have builders now, which I completely understand and don't blame them, even though some buyers get upset about it, they're putting language in their contracts
Yes.
that here's our price.
Yes.
But if materials do this,
Yes.
your price does this.
Yes.
They have to do that.
Yes.
They have to do that.
Well, when I had a builder tell me one time that they had sold the contract and were building, they're spending the 6 to 9 months to get the house ready. And Kent, my wood and paneling and all of that costs have gone up $15,000.
That's right.
Since I quoted the price. That's their profit.
That's exactly right.
You know, not to mention the other things, because the supply of so much today, but
Right.
just in the building materials like that,
Yep,
wood
yep.
and so forth. Yeah.
I've been waiting about 3 months for a roof on a house I own.
Okay.
To get a new roof, and they're having a hard time with the materials.
Yes, yes,
And my
yes,
idea was do it in the summer.
yes.
When you can put a roof on, and here we are.
Not have to chip away ice.
Where's the summer going? And I'm still don't have my roof.
Yeah.
And
Do you think you'll even get it done before winter?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
And that's got to be frustrating, because that story is multiplied hundreds of times
right.
out there. Because in our married life, my wife and I got a lot of homes and we fixed them up and moved to the next level
Sure.
and so forth. We bought homes for what you buy a car for today, back 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And often with the idea that we were going to, okay, that kitchen is, just like they do on Home and Garden Network,
Right.
that kitchen is toast. Okay, but you find out the $20,000 kitchen upgrade is now $40,000
right.
if they can get what you want.
That's right.
And you might have to settle for the wrong color or whatever, because you still got to live and eat and everything else.
Sure.
It's tough. When do you think that's going to change? I'm
yeah.
asking, of course, you know.
Yeah, that's a
pull
crystal
out-
ball question.
Yes.
So people who are smarter than me, which are most, they're talking about a year and a half, 2
Okay.
years. We are starting to see, and I hesitate to say this
Yeah.
because it's ever so slight, but we are starting to see just a minuscule of a shift.
Yes, I've heard that from a couple of folks.
Yes, which
But not enough to say, hey, Kent, it's going to turn around.
Not enough to throw
in
a
6
party.
months or a year.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
no. So I've just been kind of repeating what the economists and those that are intelligent
Yeah.
have been saying, and again, that's about a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah.
But where does that leave you? So I'm going to rent.
Yeah. And where are you going to rent?
What's that market like?
Yeah.
It's again supply and demand.
Yeah.
And so you have these tenants who the lease is coming up, and I'm going to be doing a show later with Representative Graham. We're going to touch on this,
Right.
Where you know what, your $1,000 a month rent is now $1,600.
Yeah.
That is super significant.
Yeah.
To a tenant who is budgeting for $1,000
Yeah.
a month.
And how do you save at that point?
do
Any
you
real
save?
chance of saving has probably been eaten up in a third of the increase.
Right.
You know, and we all want that, and it's tough for young people today that want to move up. And then even for old people who are in two-story homes
Yeah.
that have thought about, when I turn 75, which I did this 2 months ago, we might start thinking about the next step
Yeah.
in the next 5 years, right? Okay, we can get a nice price for our house, but is there a condo available with the regulations with condos and so forth? They're not building those.
Right.
The rental side, so what do we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy an
So it's
RV.
not just young people. So
That's right.
it's affecting everybody.
That's right. And I have a handful of people who've sold, take
Yeah.
advantage of the market, and
Yeah.
they literally are living in an RV.
Oh, yes.
Waiting for a shift, a
Yeah.
market shift.
Yeah.
And part of the shift too, the perception out there, I am starting to see more price reductions than
Okay.
I've ever seen.
Okay.
Folks, that doesn't mean the market is shifting. That means sellers are getting overconfident and being greedy, I
Greedy,
guess.
yeah,
Thinking that, hey, I can get whatever I want, which is not the case.
No.
And then eventually the price comes down, and then there's a sign, reduced price,
Right,
price
right,
reduced,
right.
price lowered. And then people
which really
driving
should be
by,
more reasonable. Instead
I
of
said that
reduced.
years ago. Would we overprice if that was the
Yeah.
sign? And then
Yeah.
the public's driving by and the neighbors, and oh my gosh, look at all these reduced prices. The market's crashing. No, it's not.
Yeah.
They were just unreasonable
Yeah.
when they listed the house.
Right, right.
It's not crashing.
Well, and honestly, a good realtor is going to tell them that up front, but they don't always listen, do they?
No. So a good realtor, competent realtor, is going to have that conversation
Yeah.
and is going to be comfortable having that conversation.
Yes.
But as you just said, oh no, Zillow says,
Yes.
or
Yeah. Down the street, they just sold.
okay.
Yeah.
So computer algorithm is going to dictate the value of your home, and
Right.
they've never seen it.
Right. Let's just spend the last couple of minutes
Yeah.
talking about number one, good to have this back. It's especially important these days.
Yes.
And I know you've got some good people coming in, like legislator Graham and so forth. What are some of the topics that we can look forward to in the next month or a month and a half?
Sure. Well, I think some of the timely things right now, I'm a buyer. I need to buy a house.
Yeah.
How can I successfully buy a house in this competitive market
Right.
with these prices? So we need to talk about what it takes to be a successful buyer. I think it's also key in this market to touch on sellers. I know it seems all rosy and
Yeah.
all that stuff, but what should you be concerned with?
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. Of course, I'll have a lender in, talk about the lending environment.
Right.
But really, it's, every market, I've said this so many times, here's the real estate market. And wherever you are in the market, there is a set of dynamics
Yes.
anywhere on that scale.
Yeah.
So you have to understand the dynamics of any given market when you are in the market.
Right.
And so we're going to talk about the dynamics and how to be successful, whether you are buying or whether you are selling.
Yeah, good.
And what you need to look out for. We just had we have a statewide contract for purchasing real estate.
Right.
Oh, by the way, that just got revised
Yes.
in ways that I've never seen before.
Okay.
So do you understand those revisions? The person that you're aligning with, do they understand those
Yes.
revisions? How can those revisions help you? How can they hurt you?
Right.
Those are very big deals.
Yeah. Weren't you in Olympia a week or so ago?
I was in
Getting
Olympia.
updated.
Last week, I was in Olympia doing some videos with
Yes.
our state association attorney on some of these revisions because there's a lot of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And if realtors don't understand it, how the heck can their clients understand
No.
it? So there's just so much going on.
Yeah. What you knew last week is different.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's, like I always say, that's why it's called practicing
Yeah.
real estate. We're
Yeah.
just always practicing, right?
Right.
It's the practicing medicine that kind of freaks me out, but we're also just practicing
Right.
real estate.
So what's the name of the show?
Real Estate Talk.
All right. With Ken Sax.
Yes.
Here.
Looking forward to it.
On Spokane Talks.
You bet.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.